start on a 350R with some performance modification. Guys, this is a 350R with $10,000 worth of performance upgrades, which I'm going to fully cover in this video. This is our run out spot. I'm going to go ahead and give it the beans for you. This car redlines all the way to 8250, so enjoy. It is an experience. It is loud, it is visceral, it is raunchy, but I gotta be honest, it's pretty darn incredible, and I absolutely love the car. Hope you enjoy the content as always. Welcome to Driven Nashville, everyone. My name is Adam. Thankful to have you on my channel. Really appreciate you stopping by and clicking the thumbnail. Now, as the title suggests, this is a GT350R, and this is kind of a cautionary tale to upgrading cars that probably statistically are going to have a lot of long-term appreciation in value if they remain in stock form. Now, this is a very, very desirable car. This is a 2019. This particular year, they started upgrading the engines to fix some of the oil issues that they were having. And this, guys, is in Ford Performance Blue with the stripes. It's got the carbon fiber wheels. This is an R. This is not a standard 350. This has the Recaros in it. This is basically the one you want. Now, I helped the gentleman, his name is Steven, own this car. At least I've been trying to help him sell the vehicle. As you guys know, I'm a broker, and I oftentimes like to help out people and try to get them more money than they can otherwise get from the retail community. We can also help with trade-ins and financing and things like that. We posted this car a week before Christmas in 2022. It went live on the 24th or the 21st or the 24th of December. We got a ton of leads, and everybody either wanted a stock one, wanted to ask for way too much for their trade because they were underwater because of the market conditions, and it was just really disappointing. And it told me that if you have a 350, you probably want to keep it stock, because we would have had this thing sold for $75,000, $77,000 in the first week if it was a stock one, even with just over 10,000 miles, which this one has. Now, I wanted to kind of go over this car with you. I'm going to give you a quick review on it. It is one of my all-time favorite vehicles. You know, it just drives so fun. It's got the 5.2 liter flat plane crank. I'm going to pop the hood right now and show you the engine. I'm going to talk through the list of upgrades that this gentleman installed, and I think you guys hopefully enjoy the content. If you do, give me a like, throw me a comment down. If you've upgraded a car before and you have a similar story where you just wanted to go ahead and make it yours and personalize it, but it ultimately hurt the value of the investment that you have in the vehicle, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. All right, so on a first impressions of the 5.2 liter flat plane crank V8 you're looking at right now, guys, it looks pretty stock. Now, when I originally met the owner, he had a blue cone filter on it, and it had, I believe, a different air box. And that air box, and I told him this, I was like, look, man, it's causing some issues. You can see right here, right, where it's not, you know, it's basically rubbing against the engine bay. I said, look, if you want to sell this car, take that off. So he bought a factory one. And, you know, he went ahead, because he had already sold it, and he went ahead and just kind of returned it to stock. Now, the internals of the engine, he was not able to return to stock. And I want to point out a couple of things. You know how these engines have the plaque? Well, you can see here, he said he kind of redid it. He put rebuilt with pride, and then he signed his own name, which I thought was kind of a cool touch. But when you start getting into that level of personalization, this now becomes your vehicle, and hence the cautionary tale and why I made this video. So this car has the following upgrades, right? It has L&M Voodoo camshafts installed with guidance of a Ford Master Tech. It also has the following hardware. Now these are all good hardware, guys, good companies. You can look it up right now. I'll go ahead and throw it on the screen. This thing is absolutely flipping loud. I'm gonna give you a couple pulls in here in just a minute when we do our point of view drive. This is the loudest, most raunchiest car I have personally ever been in. It is absolutely ridiculous. You probably heard the cold start when I edited the video, and it sure is freaking loud. Now you can still turn off the valves and make the car quieter. But my point is, guys, this has about $10,000 worth of performance upgrades, and it made the car almost unsellable as a dealership because everybody wanted a stock one. So again, it's just a cautionary tale. That's why I wanted to do this video. And and look, I've had the experience. You know, they say when you put performance upgrades into a car, you never really get your money out of it. Well, that's a perfect example. Now, the car otherwise looks stock, right? It's got the stock looking for tips. It's got the carbon fiber wing. It's painted. It's got the carbon fiber wheels. These are also painted. The stock Brembo brakes. On the inside, it's 100% stock looking. He has no extra gadgets or fuel monitors, you know, just the stock ones that come with the Shelby here. It does have the Recaro seats. These seats are incredible. They're perfectly sized for large American guys like me. I'm 200 pounds, right? And these seats are absolutely perfect. I love them. The Tremec 6-speed's incredible. It's so much fun to drive. It's so easy to engage. It holds the power so well. Now, this particular car, when it was stock, had 526 horsepower. With all of the upgrades, when I originally met the owner and he brought the car over, he was running 600 horsepower. He was running E85. It had a special tune on it, and with all the other upgrades. So this car right now, guys, could easily be returned to that stock, or excuse me, that performance level trim with just a tune and then switching out to E85. So like I said, if you are looking for a track car that is an absolute steal, this is the one. Reach out to me, because I almost am at the point with this vehicle where it's like, you know, he's willing to let it go for 70 grand. That's like $3,000 under MSRP with $10,000 worth of upgrades. It also doesn't have the terrible Cup 2s. Don't get me wrong, if you're gonna take your car on the track, Cup 2s are incredible, but these are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. These allow the car to be driven in colder temperatures. They also allow it to be driven in the rain. So you actually can have a really practical, almost daily driver. Would I daily drive at 350? Yeah, probably, as long as I didn't have to go through a lot of traffic all the time, because overall it's a lot of fun. It's, you know, it's just a fun car to drive. Doesn't beat you up that bad. So anyway, let's take it for a quick point of view drive. And again, I just wanted to kind of do this as a cautionary tale. So if you are gonna spend $10,000 and, you know, start getting into the engine and, you know, tweaking whatever Shelby and Ford created when they made this incredible product, being the 350, you're gonna run into issues that it just doesn't appeal to any of the collectors. And if I was gonna buy one of these guys, even though this one looks stock, even though it ultimately can drive stock, with especially with the tune it currently has, because it's got the stock tune on it, right? So it's basically back to 530 horsepower, 540, whatever, with all the performance upgrades, exhaust and everything. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't appeal to a lot of the purists out there. And it's really a shame, because it is such an incredibly built car. He did a really good job. I mean, the engine is strong, you can feel it. It just has that X factor when you drive it. I tell you what though, that engine and that exhaust, you know, with the long tube headers and all the ARP stuff this guy's got in here, it just sounds amazing. You know, you as a car guy, as a car enthusiast, like, there's very, very few vehicles that just frankly are as cool as this. Like, I love driving this car. I love the transmission. I love shifting it. I love running it out. I love blasting through the turns. I mean, it's not the fastest car in the world. I mean, it isn't, right? I mean, obviously you can get modern turbocharged cars that are much faster than this, but in the end of the day, like, the overall fun factor and the overall experience, it's just great. It's just a little too loud, right? Like, this is a little too loud for me. And if I could just, you know, if I were to buy this car, like I said earlier, I would quiet the exhaust up just a little bit, and it's perfect, right? If I could take the decibel levels down about 5 or 10 notches, because while I want to hear the engine, I also don't want to have the entire world knowing that I'm having fun. And this car is definitely that. I really think that if there's one or two vehicles that I could assure you are going to hold their value through any, you know, future economic cycle and always be worth at least what you paid, I think the Shelby 350R is definitely one of them. I mean, where are you going to get that? Where are you going to get that kind of experience and performance, you know? And a manual, right? Like, guys, this is going to be a complete flippin' dinosaur. It's such an enjoyable car to just enjoy and row through the gears. The brakes are amazing. The suspension does not beat you up. Now you can put it in suspension stiff mode. I'll go ahead and put the damper mode in sport mode, but you know, it doesn't drastically change the car. Just tightens it up a little bit. And with these amazing Pilot Sport 4S tires, it's so much more livable on the street. I'm really not a fan of Cup 2 tires. They're frankly just, I mean, they just frankly suck unless you're on the track. They take too long to warm up. They have absolutely no traction under 45 degrees or very little. In fact, it's flat out dangerous. You really got to be careful. Whereas these tires are warmed up, even though it's only about 55 degrees today. They're already warmed up. They're sticking. They feel amazing. And it's just such a great car. Like, I love this car, and I really feel for Steven, because I hope whoever watches this video, you know, wants to just call me up, message me on Instagram, and let's get you this car for like 70 grand, guys, because it's a no-brainer. Like, it's absolutely a no-brainer. It's such a good vehicle. He built this engine right. It is strong. You could beat on it all day long. He fixed any of the issues that Shelby had from the factory, right? And there was a couple. It is rear wheel. You do have a lot of weight in the front. So you do kind of have to watch the weight balance a little bit when you're kind of coming in and out of turns as far as the throttle. But overall, it is absolutely a blast to drive, and I just love it. I really do. I think the Tremec transmission in this thing, you know, is one of just the absolute best transmissions in the game. The engine, the flat plane V8, like, you know, even without the upgrades, it's absolutely incredible. But with the upgrades, it takes the fun factor up a little bit. The only negative is, like I've been saying, the exhaust is just a little too loud. You know, the fact of the matter is, everybody and their mom knows you're having fun, and this is the kind of car that is so loud that somebody would actually get on their phone, and, you know, the Karens of the world, and they'd call it in. And so that's the only thing that I would change, is the exhaust note. The owner said that he's, you know, he just wants to sell the car. He's not going to go ahead and put any more money into it. But, you know, again, that's an easy, fairly affordable fix. And I might even put the cats back on it as well, which will probably help quiet it down. I mean, here we are, guys. You know, the reason why I do Driven Nashville is for mornings just like this, right? Rare, enthusiast-driven cars like the Mustang, beautiful sunny mornings, spirited little drives on back roads, having some fun. These are the days that remind me why I work so hard on editing and all the content and just all the things I've been putting into the channel, you know, for many years now, that frankly there's just no ROI on time. The ROI comes from, you know, your comments, the people that watch the channel, experiencing the cars, you know, and just sharing it with you guys. You know, I started this in my driveway 6 years ago, and you know, I've been doing a video a week for the better part of a year and a half, 2 years, and I'm just not going to quit. I don't know where the channel goes, but I love it, guys. And I'm just so thankful to have you on for the journey. Real quick, guys, wanted to thank you for watching my content. Sincerely appreciate it, always have. It's been a passion of mine for the last 6 years. The channel is Doing okay. I'd like to really 10x it in 2023, and you know, I need to double down. I'm building this garage. I've got a ton of expenses, you know, and we're in a recession right now, and so anything you can do to help, would sincerely appreciate it. If you're in the local area and you want some guidance on anything to do with cars, I'm talking help with PPF installation, wraps, wheels, performance upgrades, selling the car, marketing the car, reach out to me. I've been here my whole life, got a ton of connections, ton of contacts. I've done my best to help this gentleman here. I mean, we've handled so many leads. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work out. And really, it's because of the economy. The rates right now on these, on a used car, even a 19, is still gonna be somewhere in the 7 to 8% range. So it's just so unaffordable now. Every $10,000 you borrow, you're spending between $700 to $800 a year in just interest. So that's another, you know, $200, $300, $400 a month in just interest on your payments. So this now becomes a $1,400, $1,500 car payment, right? And it just really sucks because it's so much car, and if you can buy it in cash, you want something that's gonna be able to be taken to the track and have a freaking blast with, you're looking at the car, guys. I'm telling you, the only thing that I would do with this car is I'd quiet that exhaust up just a smidge, because that's all it needs. Otherwise, it's just absolutely perfect and dialed in. I would put the tune back on it, and I think you're gonna have an absolute blast with this car. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content. I try to make this every single week. Sincerely appreciate you stopping by, and I will talk to you later.